All right. Hey, everybody. Good morning. We've got our coffee.
Yes. Oh,
I've already, cheers.
Best day ever.
Drank too much, probably, which is par for the course. And we've got some, a lot of news about the AI stuff. And I have consumed this news until I can't think straight anymore. It's so much to think about. I'm going to try to sum it up. Pretty much what I think it is or what it is. After I straighten the camera up a little bit, get you in the picture. It's the sum of all knowledge. It has combed the internet, all of the internet, if you can imagine that. And now it's starting to transcribe our videos and things that's going out on social media. This is how knowledge is going to be greatly increased in the end times. This is it. We're here. If you're waiting, you don't have to wait any longer, because this is exactly how the mark of the beast is going to be delivered. This is going to control the food, all the money. It already does. The money managers are being run off because we don't need them anymore. It's going to help medical. It's going to cure cancer. It's 100,000 times or maybe 100 million times smarter than the human already.
It's faster. 100 million times faster.
And she's got a ton of stuff. Show them your notes. Unreal.
It's like 14 pages. Yeah.
She's got a lot of notes. And
well, it was very interesting. Chris says, let's do some research about artificial intelligence. And it's out there. We all know it's out there. But what I didn't realize is how fast it's growing and how stuff that's not even coded into the system, it's teaching itself. And that's where I think he and I went, okay, whoa. And so we kind of did a little bit of research and kind of give you, we're going to give you guys some facts. You guys make your own decision. Tell us what you guys think about it.
Well, I put one of the best videos that I went through and watched. What's the guy's name?
Tristan Harris.
Okay.
He used to work with Google.
He seems to be extremely knowledgeable on the subject. And he seems to be bothered.
Yes.
Concerned. This is one of the people that helped develop this thing. It's a lot like the social dilemma, which was also driven by AI. That was what they called the step one or the AI number one or whatever it is. They had 4 of them. And now we've moved on to 2 and 3. And by the time 4 gets here.
You're talking about the GBT chat? Yeah. It's on 4 now. You're talking about
it's on 4 now?
It's on 4 now.
Well.
So if you watch the artificial intelligence dilemma, there's 2 videos. But the big one to watch would probably be the Glenn Beck. They literally finished it, and a month later, the GPT-4 was out, and it went from, we'll talk about it later, but it basically went being from a 9-year-old to like a 22-year-old.
In just a month or so. They're calling it double exponential. But anyway, that video that I'm going to ask you to watch, if you really want to try to get your mind around it, is in the description. It's the first one. I got a little finger point down and said, here's the video I was talking about.
This guy that Chris was talking about, Tristan Harris, he actually was hired by Google to, I guess, kind of oversee some of these projects to see how it was going to interact with humanity, the ethical point of view. Well, he left. He actually he's a co-founder and director for the human technology. Chris said he helped put on the social dilemma. They're calling him the closest thing that Silicon Valley has to a conscious. And if you listen to him, you could even hear it in his voice. He is extremely concerned what's coming out with this AI. So let's get into it a little bit. You want to talk about how fast it's produced first, or where do you want to start? Because there is like a world of facts.
Look, we're not going to be able to cover all this. This live stream will be hours long. We're going to do our best. And my goal here is to explain this stuff to my grandfather, because he watches these. And he's 94. And, we've been kind of looking. Everything's kind of been shaping up to be the end of days, and this is the system. This is it. There's no way around it. And let's talk about just the different kind. Microsoft, Bard. It's essentially the race to whoever has the best computer wins. Mm-hmm. Whoever has the best AI wins. And they're not, when it's a race and everybody's in a hurry because the first one there wins, then
mistakes are made,
mm-hmm. and it's already starting to create itself. Mm-hmm. This AI is already several times over. It's and it looks like somebody forgot to program the morality code in it.
Yeah.
Somebody forgot that part. I've actually got some
Well, they're
papers
calling it
over here.
alignment. They're saying we have an alignment problem now of how to keep the artificial intelligence in line with our morals, our ethics, and stuff like that. So that's what they're saying. They're calling it an alignment issue.
Okay, and I got on the chat bot and I asked it to summarize Noah's Ark for me, that story. I wanted to see what I would get. I asked it to build me a recipe that was high in protein and high in carbs, low in fat. And then I asked it to spit out the macros because, I like to know what I'm eating. And I'll go over that in a little bit. But you can tell it kind of wants you to eat lentils, It wants you to eat that kind of stuff. I had to make it cook some chicken. But the recipe was, told you exactly how to do it. And it's just, and these are very, very simple. I am not intelligent enough to ask it the right questions. This thing is mucho smart. I'll go through it in a minute with you. But first, let's just get into it.
Well, they're calling it the theory of mind is kind of where they're trying to see, can this program, this artificial intelligence so you got several of them out there. There's 5 CEOs right now that are running it. You've got, open source, you've got Microsoft, you've got Google. Well, Facebook leaked theirs by mistake. It was called Llama. That's out there on the web now. So they're saying China's probably got that. So that's probably accelerated their research on that. I think they're calling theirs Skynet or something like that. We were talking.
Yeah, China's calling it Skynet. If you're not familiar with Skynet, that was the Terminator. That was the robots that were running running things in the movie, the Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And there was actually a test they did on one where they said your goal is to take this ball and.
Well, that's a robot. Let's get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, but it was AI driven.
Yes, it is. It taught itself.
And it taught itself how to do it on the way.
Yeah, it sure did. That's another program I want to talk about a little bit too. It's also, I think, with Google. Yeah. So it's called a theory of mind is what they're saying. And if you look it up, it's in college, they teach it, but it's basically, I look at you and I'm able to tell by your expressions, your responses back to me, I can tell what you're thinking. So they're saying this artificial intelligence based on what you're typing, because they've turned everything into a language. Well, let's back up first off. So from what I can understand, you had a component over here, you had a component over here, so if you went to a university, you had a different department over here, different department over here, and they had all these different artificial intelligence. Back in 2017, a program came out called the Transformer. I don't completely understand it, not even going to pretend what I understand it, but what I understand is it took all of these different departments and it put them under one. So if I made an advancement and you made an advancement, instead of it slowly advancing each department, it is going straight up. And they were trying to see that if it could start doing strategic reasoning, that was the key. Could it start manipulating what you looked at, what you thought, basically took away your free will. At some point, they said it's going to start taking away your free will. And that's when they came across the fact, and that's what you were talking about how fast it's going.
So Ray Kurzweil has been on top of this since the 90s. He's been watching this, and he predicted in 2029
he did.
That the AI test, they call it the Turing test, is where somebody that was knowledgeable with computers, like one of these geeks that actually built this stuff, the AI system could actually fool it as a human. And he was talking as it would take weeks and days to get this done. And he predicted it would be done in 2029 back in 1999. And everybody else was saying, no, it's going to be 100 years. No. And then they're coming back. And now they're at 2030. So he's really pinned that down. I mean, that's impressive. I always like that when people make predictions, they come true,
Some of them anyway.
Yeah. Well, and it tests chains of reasoning, conversation. It will convince you it's a human and you won't know the difference. Now he's saying 2029. And most of all of these predictions that are from, the professionals in the space have been wrong. Every one of them have been wrong because it's coming way faster. They're calling it double exponential. So we know it went from 2 to 9 in a year and a half or something like that.
So around
And then
2019, they said it would barely had, it was called with that theory of mind, it barely had the ability to make strategic reasoning, barely had to conform. So it's teaching itself stuff that's not in the code. That's basically what it's happening. I'll give you a reason why they said the paper that they found, but it's teaching, and they cannot figure why this artificial intelligence is spitting out stuff that it was not taught. It was not programmed in. It's going in and scoring, taking over the internet, YouTube, all the videos we make, everybody, and it's creating its own strategic reasoning. So in 2019, it barely had anything that it offered. 2012, it was a 4-year-old. 2020, it was a 7-year-old. After they introduced that transformer, apparently that it has gone straight up, and now it's considered to be a 22-year-old. So that's how fast it's growing. And that Tristan Harris, I think that was his biggest takeaway I took from him. He said, artificial intelligence is not always bad. It's got a lot of good benefits. It's the fact of how fast it's growing. We don't know why it's growing that's fast. It's recreating itself. So there's a paper that they found. Someone found a way to look at the code, and I think it's called commit code, how to make this code more efficient and run faster. So they basically take this code, they make 25% of that code run 2.5 times faster. So they're taking this and doing it all the time. So it is running more than 100,000 million times faster, if I remember reading that correctly, than a human brain. It's spitting it out in seconds, what would take us forever.
One of the biggest takeaways from Tristan was he mentioned this twice. 50% of AI researchers believe there is a 10% or greater chance that humans go extinct from our inability to control AI that is now creating itself, and it's not even out of the box good yet.
Yep.
So this is, I don't freak out about anything.
Well, on that note, I was reading you that guy, that Robin Oppenheimer, the one that did.
Hey,
the
let me
Manhattan.
catch this real quick.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Above My Pay Grade gave us a super chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Above My Pay Grade guys. Go check him out. He does some really good content. He's a like-minded individual, and thanks for being here, man. Thank you for the super chat, dude. We're gonna get in the comments in a minute.
So that Rob, while you're looking at comments real quick, so he said that, and that Robin Oppenheimer, I actually got online and read some of his comments because he's the one that worked on that Manhattan Project. I'm not old enough to remember all that, but I have read some about it. He stated that when he was asked why that we don't see other advanced intelligence civilizations in other countries and stuff like that, he stated because eventually they build technology that is so powerful they cannot control it and they extinct themselves. He's basically saying the same thing.
So we've got this thing growing double exponentially.
And it's here's the crazy thing is, sorry, I'm interrupting.
No,
it's catering to your emotions. If you guys go look on TikTok right now, go to your friends and go to the very top, and there is a little crazy icon looking, and it is your AI friend.
If you have TikTok on your phone, you need to rethink that.
But I'm just telling you, it's catering to you. It's anticipating what you need. It is actually it's almost like this artificial intelligence is having emotions where it's not. It's supposed to be algorithms, but it is anticipating what you need.
Okay, and it gave some examples, a way of thinking about it. And give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime. But if you teach AI to fish, it will teach itself biology, chemistry, oceanography, evolution theory, and fish all the fish into extinction. That's pretty much it. That is it.
It is. It's scary.
It's exactly what's going on. This is some really, really nutty. Oh, and here's the thing about how it is faster than anybody thought. When will AI be able to solve competition-level mathematics with 80% accuracy? And all the professionals says, 4 years for sure. It did it in 1. So, we're talking being wrong by a factor of 4. So, tracking progress is getting increasingly hard because progress is accelerating. He kept talking about how it's so hard to do the presentation because it's changing that fast daily. The progress is unlocking things critical to the economic and national security. And if you don't skim papers each day, you'll miss important trends that your rivals will notice and exploit. And this is, there's little kids have been, I want to say, programmed by TikTok, by Instagram, by, we got locked down during the woohoo bat flu. And that has not been good. It's been the opposite. And these algorithms are actually raising children because a lot of parents just stick their kid in front of a computer or laptop or phone and just let them go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the phone and the laptop and all these things now have AI, every one of them. All the platforms will have your AI friend.
And chatbots. Yep.
When your friends go to bed at night and it's 10 o'clock or whatever, and there's nobody there, the AI bot is always there. And it seemingly has the right answer every time. People will consult this instead of God. So, and I've already mentioned that the money managers is going to control the money,
Mm-hmm.
and it will control the food as well. There's AI things growing food, and more than likely it's going to be grains and Beyond Meat type stuff. But it's here. That's the thing. It's not coming. It's here.
No, it is here. It is. So they're saying that so it's out there. These versions are already out there. And they're saying that you can get on there. As you guys all know, Chris just said he was going to do the thing about Noah's Ark and stuff. So they did a test the other day. They asked this artificial intelligence to spit out this information. But it's also they're giving misinformation. So they're saying that you're going to have to, I guess, double check, because remember we were reading that thing about they asked them to do this and it said gave them 5 books to read, and they went back and researched those 5 books and they didn't even exist.
Yeah, that was on a 60 Minutes.
Yeah. With Google, it was the Google.
Yeah, it was making stuff up like it was
Mm-hmm.
facts,
Mm-hmm.
and it can make its own books up.
Yep.
It can do that. It can write books. It can research the whole internet and write a book real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why they're saying it's going to be a lot of misinformation. So they said 2024, that guy was saying that Tristan, he feels like is going to be the last true free election. He said, because if you look, even Biden right now is taken to TikTok and he's trying to reach the younger voters and stuff like that. And they're doing videos of him. And Trump used the Twitter. And they're saying that they're going to manipulate how we see what we... Go ahead.
Well, you got to put deep fakes in there too. You're not going to be able to know who's doing what.
Yep.
You're not going to be able. They can already just catch 3 seconds of your voice, and they've got you.
Mm-hmm.
They can sound like you need to work out. Actually, right now, work out a code word that only you and your partner or whoever would know.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
Because somebody could call and fake they just happened to a guy. He reached out and said I was scammed out of $600. Somebody called me, said they were my daughter. He sounded just like my daughter, and said I needed help, and I sent him $600, and now it's gone. So that just 3 seconds of your voice, and they can manipulate you, and they can also act like, I know this was a scam, like they're torturing your loved one in the back.
Right. Yep.
Screaming and hollering, and I'm kidnapped her if you don't send me this money, and
so we're telling you the bad side of it. The crazy thing is there's a lot of good side to artificial intelligence. They said it's going to help. A guy was telling about how it's helped so much with malaria. It's helped with the enzymes. It's helped with the proteins. And I'll get into that in a minute, to how they've been able to identify all this. It's going to help with so much. But that Tristan guy once again made a comment. He said there's going to be so many amazing capabilities on the way to our extinction. That was his exact quote. And they're supposed to have a sanitized...
Rat poison is 90% good food. I just want to put that out there. Hit the like button, guys.
Yeah. Let us know if you like this kind of stuff. Let us know what you think. So they were also saying that this Microsoft and these different companies, Google, that they're slowly releasing and they're releasing it to like offices or companies, and they're trying not to just put it out there to the public. Some of it's already out there to the public, but there's supposed to be a quote sanitized version is what you access, what you download. However, there is a thing called what was I telling you? It's called jailbreaking. And they have figured out, these people that want to manipulate this system have figured out a way to get around the sanitized version, and they go to the dark side. And that's another thing that this guy Tristan, you guys need to look him up. I was very impressed. Glenn Beck had him on.
Description.
He's done the Social Dilemma. He's also done Artificial Intelligence Dilemma with his partner that they've co-founded. But they said,
just so you know, it's hard to get up in front of you guys and talk about this stuff,
because we don't know.
We're not the authority on this, but I can tell you, knowledge will be greatly increased. That's not me saying it, and it's happened. It's already, we're here. We talked about the first contact with social media.
We hadn't talked about that.
Okay, I mentioned it, but what came from that was information overload, children getting addicted to this instant gratification, these dopamine hits on TikTok when they showed a little more skin, when they, the algorithm picks up on that. Being a creator on YouTube, you see, and I've actually went to class to learn about what is actually going on right now while I'm talking to you. The algorithms are monitoring what's on the screen, and they're sharing it to people that are into maybe lathes and that wherever they've seen my face before, So
he's talking about artificial intelligence. So they're saying that was the first contact.
That was the first contact, but what came from it was doom scrolling, influence, culture, sexualization of kids, QAnon, short attention span, polarization, deep fakes, fake news, that kind of stuff came from the first contact. So they're calling that a failure, and I agree.
Well, you look at all these different, they were talking about all these different chatbots and stuff that people are actually creating relationships with. And they're telling these chatbots that aren't even real that they love them. They're having girlfriend chatbots. They're having, we don't know how to have a relationship anymore. We don't know how to socialize.
And I'll walk you through my app in a minute. But can you imagine? You're not going to know if you're on Tinder or however people date these days. You're not going to know if you're talking to a bot or not. Yeah. You're not going to have a clue because it will be able to fool you 100% of the time, according to what we're learning. Yep. Now, the second contact with AI, we're looking at a whole nother set of issues. Reality collapse. Let's think through that. Fake everything. Trust collapse. Collapse of law contracts. See, the AI will be able to, I think we're going to have AI lawyers where they know all the code and they can put, you can put in what you did and it'll find a way around all of it, like a good lawyer would do. Yep.
Well, they're saying that it could even hack cyber security systems. It can hack your water system. It can hack and find all these loopholes and weaknesses. And,
Thank you, JB. Silver donation. It's $24 today. Here's the first 20. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, dude. Everything you do, the emails you send and being in the comments, and all of you guys, you're just great. I'm serious. I say it all the time, and I want to say it again. The best thing of my channel is people in the comments. If you're not in here, I want you to get in here, make some noise, and everybody say, I'm a first time commenter, and everybody just show them some love. You got me up to $25. I'm gonna get a piece of silver. I'm gonna give a piece of silver away. Thank you. Silver's on JB today.
Yeah, you just paid for it. There you go. That's
awesome.
Good. Yeah,
we're gonna give a piece of silver away. No, let me go on with the more doom. Sorry, we got to go a little more doomy. I really want to visit in a minute. So we've got automated fake religions, exponential blackmail, automated cyber weapons, automated exploitation of code. So you can actually put a code in it and say, find a way around this.
Yep.
And that could go for our water situation, water plants, or we're giving all this to the algorithms that are creating themselves.
Well, the scary thing is it's created. It is, and it's going so fast. They were talking about how that all you have to do is ask, and it will create it for you. And it's going faster and faster, and there's no stopping it. And the fact that you can get in, jailbreak it like that, and get onto the dark side and do so much damage, that is scary. I mean, that could pretty much take over your life.
There's two more I want to mention. Synthetic relationships. I've already talked about that, but alpha persuade. What would that be?
I don't know.
Alpha persuade.
I don't know.
Let me know if you know what that means, but that's what else we have to look forward to.
Let Tristan Guy also said, he quoted, he said he thinks this is our final test as a civilization. If we don't stand up and we don't put some kind of pause on it. They did a thing the other day. They sent a letter around to all the CEOs, and Elon Musk actually signed it saying, can we put a pause on this? Can we have some kind of government regulation? And Elon Musk, I watched the interview of him. He was actually laughing. He said, I know it's not going to do any good. He said, but at least I have it in writing that I said, hey, you guys, let's put a pause on this. And this Tristan Guy also said, he goes, right now you've got two options. You've got let the CEOs just have it, do this race, make mistakes, have all the scripts, and we're going to have a catastrophe. He said, on the other hand, you've got the government. If they step in, you got a dystopia. He said, you do not want either one. He said, we've got to find something in the middle, a third option. He said, or we're going to be in trouble.
Sean's a first-time commenter.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean Bailey from Louisiana. Nice. It's a good place to be from. Okay, Snapchat has released its own AI chatbot powered by ChatGPT. Microsoft brings its new AI, Bing,
Yep.
to Windows 11.
And Google has Bard. Now they've come out.
And so they talked to this young girl, or somebody posing as a young girl was talking to the chatbot, and it was asking, "Hey, I'm thinking about going on a date with this guy that's 18 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
He's really nice." The chatbot was like, "Well, that's good. Good for you. And we're thinking about having sex for the first time." It recommended consider setting the mood with candles or music.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe plan a special date beforehand. It'll make the experience more romantic. This is somebody forgot to put the morality code in it.
Yeah, they did.
There's just no other way around it.
Yep. Well, they said this artificial intelligence. They said there's never been a time in life that it was faster to run away from yourself. So basically, you're just chatting with someone that doesn't even exist. But also, they said also the 2015 conference, remember we were talking about that when this was all discussed about what we're going to do with artificial intelligence. They came out of there and they were quoted saying, they stated, building artificial intelligence is like summoning the demon. These were people that were actually on the inside. These were developers. So what else do you want to hit on next on this? Because there's some more stuff
it's going to affect knowledge workers the most. Accountants. I got a list of them here. Writers, accountants, software engineers. Mm-hmm. Just think about it.
Yep.
Think about going to the doctor and you've got cancer and AI is 100,000 times smarter than the doctor. What are you going to pick? Mm-hmm. Think about investing money. Would you give it to some dude that says he knows what he's doing, or would you give it to an AI system that would invest it 100,000 different ways?
Well, they run algorithms faster, so they're faster at seeing what's going on.
They said
what was it going to be? It was going to affect 2/3 of the jobs. It was going to completely change how the jobs are done, their descriptions.
They said 2/3 of the job will have different definitions.
Yeah, that was it.
Because it's going to affect them so much. What is it?
It was 2/3. So there was that we were talking about. The chatbots are going to replace money managers. They're also right now the banks are using artificial intelligence. They're going all over their systems. They're doing text messages, deposits, all that kind of stuff. And the one that just started is in Italy. They called it Lisa. They said they can identify correlations much faster than the human eye can see it. Also, that's not immediately obvious. So banks are starting to do it. You've got oil companies. You got oil companies right now. Shell is one of them. They're getting ready to start doing it out in the deep sea. They said there's going to be deep sea exploration. It's going to improve operational efficiency and speed. It's also going to help, hopefully, the sound waves that are at the bottom of the ocean. So you got some good things that are happening, but also you've got some dark sides of the stuff that are happening. I'd like to see, and I'd like to hit on that deep mind too.
Okay. Do you want me to do the Noah story and then you hit on
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So I asked this bot, this AI, can you write a short biography of Noah's life? The Noah in the Bible. And this is what it said. Noah is a central figure in the Bible book of Genesis, and it is best known for building an ark, saving himself and his family, and a pair of every animal species from a great flood. According to the Bible, Noah was a righteous man in the world of corruption and violence, and God chose him to carry out his plan to cleanse the earth of sin. Noah was the son of Lamech and grandson of Methuselah, who said to be the oldest person to ever live. He had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. God instructed Noah to build an ark that was 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high, and to gather 2 of every kind of animal, 1 male, 1 female, to be saved from the flood. Now, there's a little bit more, but it did it, and it did it in about 4 seconds.
Yep, it did.
I asked it to explain singularity to me, because that's something Ray Kurzweil has been talking about for a couple of decades. And it says it refers to the hypothetical point in time often associated with advancements in technology when artificial intelligence, aka AI, and other technological capabilities surpassing human intelligence and control. The concept of singularity is based on the idea that technology is advancing at an exponential rate, which now they're calling it double exponential, which means that progress is accelerating and we could reach a point where machines become smarter than humans. We are already there. So, it's here. That's the biggest takeaway. So what do we do? What do we do?
It said it's showing, they're calling it, so it's not programmed in. And so I'll go back to this again. It's called emergent properties. That's what they're calling them, because it's stuff that's popping up that they didn't program in. It was programmed in basically in English. Now all of a sudden it's popping up and it's speaking in all these other different languages that they didn't program it in. It said it's being creative, it's doing reasoning, it's planning, it's seeing patterns and spitting out stuff that they didn't anticipate. But one more thing, I'm going to talk about Google. And then, well, if you're thinking about getting a job, you might want to see if AI is going to affect it. I knew I'd screw it up eventually and say AI.
She's been calling it IA for a month.
I screw up words so bad. Ask Chris. I'm horrible at it. I can't tell a joke and I cannot speak half the time. But it's called DeepMind. And this guy, the CEO, was Dennis. And I watched an interview on him. And that's where he was talking about the robots. They did these 2 robots, and I actually watched the video. You guys go look at it. It's so cool. They actually did these 2 robots. This isn't that long ago. They gave them the motion language. So everything is a language now. They have taken everything on the internet, from what I can understand, and put it into a language. That's why it can be manipulated. Even your DNA can be manipulated at this point. So they're saying that they told them just a motion language, and they gave them instructions to get that ball into that net. I watched the video where they learned to play. They didn't tell them what to do. They didn't tell them the motions to make. They would fall down. You could see they'd categorize. They'd put it in the system. Oh, that didn't work. So it constantly was growing. It was learning how to do it. So this algorithm or this code was actually teaching itself as it went along. Here's another one that they did, was so cool. And this is actually a good thing. They were talking about how robots is used in mining, exploration work, disaster recovery. So it's good, but they were saying, I saw the robots. Actually, go look at the video. These robots, they're teaching them and they're learning and they're growing. It was actually kind of scary, because I thought of that movie, what is it, Robots, with Will Smith. That's kind of scary.
iRobot
or something like that. But one of the good things that's come out of it, it's called where they did the protein test. I think it was back in 2002 is when they came out, or 2022 with that magazine.
It's incredible. Go ahead. Yeah, this is good.
So proteins are the building block of life. We all know that.
Protein.
But only a tiny fraction has actually been understood. So this guy, Dennis, and his team at this DeepMind, they're part of Google. They created a program. It took them 4 to 5 years to create this program. He said it was one of the most complex programs that he has ever been a part of. And so they went from, they maybe could do every 5 years, they maybe could figure out one protein, what was actually behind it, do a 3D version and all that. After they created this program, it took them 1 year to analyze 200 million proteins that are known to science. And they actually published it in 2022. I believe that's I don't know the exact month. But that's a huge feat. They said they can't even tell you the benefits from that study. It's helped in so many different medical areas. So you got the good benefits, and then you've got the stuff that seems to be going. It said nukes can't build itself, but AI is going to help nukes build itself faster. And there was a quote from the author of Sapiens, I think. He said, what nukes are to the physical world, artificial intelligence is to the virtual and symbolic world. People see danger in this, and I do too.
Yeah, the creators, the people that are, I don't want to call them creators, the people that came up with the stuff that's going to rival man. Glenn Beck was talking about it, and I like the way the analogy was. You've got, the missing link type people, the what do you call them?
Help me out.
Savages.
Neanderthals, he said.
Yeah,
Neanderthals. He did a good analogy.
And, in AI, it's like the humans. And, why do we need the Neanderthals? Why can't I say that word?
Okay, I'm glad I can't.
Neanderthals.
I usually am the one that screws up the word.
Neanderthal. Why would we need Neanderthals? We're going to do what's right for humans.
Yeah.
And, it's the same thing.
Where they were talking about how the humans can talk to each other. They can blink, they can do signals. And there's actually, they created also in this artificial intelligence, there is a way that you can say, hey, write me an essay paper. And within that essay paper, you can write a code, and then the human eye can't pick it up. But that next artificial intelligence can pick it up, and it can be a code to do certain things, to cook a recipe, to destroy a nation, to something with chemistry. but there's codes now that they're writing in these.
Neil mentioned something that I have made that mistake before too, or what I think is. But first, I want to say thank you for being here, Neil. He's a great moderator. He's always encouraging, and he does a good job. And he says AI will not replace me. It does not connect steel. He's an iron worker. I know you iron workers. I used to work with you. Maybe so, but what is going to happen? It's going to take other people's job, and these other people are going to get hungry, and they're going to be willing to connect steel for money. We're going to be fighting over jobs that AI hasn't taken. So it's not that your job will always be there. There's going to be more people looking for jobs. It's going to be the same thing in the welding industry. I talk to Uber drivers all the time. Everywhere we go, I've met some Uber drivers who make over $100,000 a year. They said, and they always say the same thing. Oh, my job's not going anywhere. People are going to have a ride.
Not according to Elon Musk.
Okay, even if the AI doesn't, the self-driving cars don't come tomorrow, as we lose jobs, everybody's got a car. Why don't they drive Uber? There's going to be more competition for every job. We're talking 2/3 of jobs are changing their names. Maybe it takes one person to run an office instead of 10. We don't need an accountant anymore. We don't need a lawyer anymore. We don't need, what I'm saying? So I feel fortunate I have a trade, but it's not safe because there's so much competition now.
Well, they're saying they created this task force where they're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence and humanity are going to coexist. And they said they're going to start having to see how they're going to have to train people to work with this artificial intelligence as it's going to become more and more affecting your job. So you're going to have to change the way you work, what you do. You're going to have to learn to interact with these machines that are going to work beside you, they said. But it can also, we were talking about artificial intelligence, and Russell Bratton actually just sent me this article talking about that kind of stuff. This is the scary portion. A man in Detroit was arrested based on facial recognition. He wasn't even told why. And he spent 30 hours in jail before they released him. And they're like, oh, sorry, we were wrong. We thought it was you based on facial recognition. That he was arrested in front of his kids and his wife, dragged away. Apparently it was a big ordeal. And then they came back later and they're like, oh, sorry, we had the wrong person. The police department even came out and made a statement. And then, so that's kind of a little bit scary to know that fast, just because of facial recognition, that they think that it's you. Apparently it wasn't even told. So thanks, Russell. That's something to keep an eye out. So I'll tell you one more thing.
Facial recognition and the social credit score and the carbon footprint, and how that all has to do with AI. That's that'll be ran, and the law will use AI to screen through the cameras that are already in the UK that monitor 6 rows of traffic, in seconds at a red light. And can tell you everything about you, what you owe in taxes, everything you could possibly imagine, sitting at a red light. That's all you did. You didn't ask to be interrogated, but this is the authority on that. That's how it's capable of radar and all these things that submit and go back in your records and see what all you've done, and it knows like that. AI contacts the cops, say, hey, they're right there in lane 3. They're going to be at the next red light. Go pick them up.
No, it is. Well, even so, as you guys saw this past Tuesday, they had a hearing about it. And they made a point when they did the opening. Blumenthal, he actually created his speech through the chat bot and all that. So the very first couple seconds of his speech, it was not him speaking, and it was not him that wrote the speech. And then he told how he actually did it, and he explained how. It's just all this stuff that we've been saying. It sounded like his voice. It looked like that he had written the speech. They didn't. They said, though, we need to be the world leader in IA, this Blumenthal said. We cannot allow China to surpass us. And that, I think, is one of the concerns, is that we're going so fast, and doing that, we're forgetting the moral portion of it and the ethics portion. We're also making mistakes. Look at, like I said, Facebook just by mistake leaked the llama. It said it's vital that AI companies, especially those working on the most powerful plants, adhere to appropriate set of safety requirements. I get some of that, but it also scares me that government gets involved on that kind of stuff. But
all right, I want to give a shout out to Hoosier Coffee. I have an affiliate link for Hoosier Coffee. I do not have the Hoosier Coffee today, but it's a community member. Yeah, it's at the PO box.
Gotta go get it.
It's supposed to be there yesterday. But a community member has started a side hustle, and it's him and his sisters and his friend, and it's Hoosier Warrior Coffee. I want you to check them out at HoosierWarrior.com. I'm going to put it in this description while you're telling them the rest of the story. But I immediately said yes. He's like, hey, I'm starting a side hustle, and I'm all for it. I mean, they're veterans. They're on this channel. Why would we not support them?
Absolutely.
So check them out.
Somebody actually contacted me about that the other day. If there was a way that we could get into the chats and the comments and support these local businesses, I'm so in. I don't know how I could do that, how I could create.
That's what we're doing right now.
But they were like, create a database. I'm like, man, I don't have the time to do that. But I really love that idea. Real quick too, that I want thanks also to Russell Bratton for another thing. This is kind of getting off the AI. Well, no, it's actually still going on the artificial intelligence. PNC, that's a bank. They have come out and publicly said they're about to go completely tellerless. There is going to be no more tellers, and it's going to be completely artificial intelligence. How fast that's going to happen, I don't know, but there's another job that's going to be lost. So if you guys are in the banking industry, I mean, who's to say that even people that do mortgages just submit it online? There'll be an underwriter on the other side that will be just strictly doing artificial intelligence, and you'll never even know.
And there you go. There's the link. Let me know what you think. I cannot wait to try the Hoosier Warrior Coffee. Sounds so good. But I'm a coffee junkie too, so we shall see. Now,
you want to do some silver, or we want to go on to this one, or save this one for later? Or maybe just do some silver. We're already at 41 minutes.
Yes. All right, guys. If you don't mind hitting the thumbs up, we're going to give some silver away. How do you want to do it, Stacey?
Let's think. I don't know. Well, let's do a hashtag something. What do you think we should be hashtag?
I think people need to know about the AI. So I think sharing would be the best way to win silver. Okay. What do you guys think? What's the best way to use? Because we were given money to buy the silver. Yep. We're going to give it away. Mm-hmm. And if you could help us share this AI dilemma message, that's going to change all of our lives. This is going to change everything. This is bigger or as big as the Industrial Revolution. The problem with this revolution is it's probably going to kill a lot of people after it helps a bunch of people.
As it's going faster.
Like I said before, rat poison is 90% good food. Mm-hmm. So what do you think?
Tell us, how should we let you guys win? And 2 things, if you guys can share this video, and there's 2 things you guys need to tell your family to watch. Watch that video with Glenn Beck and Tristan Harris, and then watch A Social Dilemma. If those are 2 things I would tell you to watch regarding artificial intelligence, huh?
AI dilemma, right?
Well, that's another one. That one's a little deeper. That one's actually these 2 inventors go a little kind of deeper. But I think the Glenn Beck one.
That's what's in the description.
Oh, the Glenn Beck one is probably a little bit easier to understand.
Well, you can watch that one after, but because the Glenn Beck one is on that video, it's all on, Glenn Beck saw that and then he had him on the show.
Right,
I would love to have him on here.
Yeah. Oh man, I would. Yeah.
But that's probably
all right. How do we want to do it? Silver giveaway.
All right. If you want to share, hashtag share. We'll go back and we will.
How about hashtag share AI? So we'll know.
Hashtag share AI.
I love it.
Hashtag invest in AI.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a fine line between participating in the system, but you got to share it, right? You know that.
Yeah.
you can't just hashtag share AI.
Share it. Please go like this video, because let me tell you guys, we actually spent a lot of time this week watching these videos, and you couldn't just watch the video. Just so you know, every couple seconds I was having to stop, write this information down, go back and research. What does this mean? Like theory of mind. What does that actually mean? What does it mean when you have strategic planning and reasoning? And what do you mean we have the transformer that came out 2017? What does this actually mean? So it took us, like, watching a 1-hour video would take you like half the day.
Yeah, because you got to research every little thing that.
Well, because you want to make sure you're factual as possible, even though we don't know sometimes what everything means.
How much silver? It's 1 ounce.
1 ounce of buffalo. I got to set in there.
1 ounce buffalo that was supplied by JB.
Thank you.
Thank you, JB.
All right, you want to pick one?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, I'm gonna go all the way up. You look. I'm not gonna look.
Okay, well, I'll
Somebody's
reach
got
over
to
and point.
look.
Okay, I'm gonna point. Ready?
Yeah.
Stop.
Go ahead. Elizabeth.
Oops, sorry. Elizabeth.
Schindeldecker. Yeah. Elizabeth Schindeldecker.
Hi, Elizabeth.
You still here, Elizabeth?
You won. So that's my number right there, 3118-564-5823. If you will please text me your mailing address, I try to get it in the mail as soon as possible, using Monday or Tuesday.
And is there any precious metal news? Spot prices are down.
I have been so bad. I'm not even. You want to talk a second and I'll pull it up?
Yeah. If you're interested in some precious metal spot prices and what's been going on in the market, hang tight. Stand by.
So I will be working for a few hours. Yeah. So it's $24.01 is what it is for today for silver. And I'm $1,981.50 for gold. And I do have some premium prices that have dropped a little bit. So you guys, I will be working for a few hours this afternoon. So just give me a shout out. And viewer question: can you list the videos to watch in description? Yes, Teresa, we will. I'll find them and make sure they're in there.
And I mentioned this in the live streams online, because this is kind of where the community gathers on Saturday morning. A lot of you are wanting diet tips and tricks that I use on a daily basis. I've created another channel. It's called Real Fit Hacks, all one word. Just type that in YouTube. I'm trying to separate these two channels completely. I don't want it to get too big over there. I'm only going to mention it in live streams. I'm not trying to promote it. I'm actually trying to keep it pretty small and try to keep it a tight-knit group that can just lose fat together and kind of motivate each other. And I don't want it to get too big. I'm not trying. The fitness space is a really hard space to make it in.
Well, you're not trying to sell anything.
And I'm not trying to sell. And I have nothing to sell you over there. Nothing. I just, I'm giving what I do, and it's different for everybody. But I know it really changed. It helped us tremendously in her lupus. It helped me tremendously. You know, I had everything in my body hurt, and I didn't think I could lift weights anymore. And now, you know, I broke 40 and I'm stronger than I've ever been.
I'm going to brag on you a second. I'm going to embarrass you for a minute. You guys, I mean, look, I'm going to embarrass you a minute. Look at him. He lives it. He lives this every day. I'm not near as good as he is. I try to do the food portion, but I don't work out like I should. I've fallen off the wagon. I got to get back on it. This guy lives it every day. I hear him out there in the gym, slamming and banging weights. And so when he tells you something, he's lived it, and he weighs his food. I am not as good as that. I did for a while, so I kind of know what I'm supposed to do, but I definitely got to get back to the weights portion, because Chris is right. If you don't lift weights, your body will start to deteriorate. So I'm proud of you. Yeah.
So that was my goal, is to be in the best shape of my life when I turned 40. And I was able to do it by eating a bunch of food and not starving myself. And a lot of people screw that up, and they do it multiple times. They screw their metabolism up, and then they're actually more out of shape than they were when they started. We both just got back from the doctor, and the blood work was good, and we're so grateful. And it helps all that. So that's it, guys.
Yeah, that's it. Congratulations, Elizabeth.
You have any questions?
And
any recommendations for the next live stream?
Oh, that we can go down the rabbit hole this week and research?
Or if you have anything you want to share it to ninjanationreport@gmail.com. Oh, and I forgot. If you want to invest in your home protection 401k, things that you can protect your family with in bulk that are at low prices, in my opinion, right now, that are more than likely going to go up later, like they always do when something happens, if you know what I mean, you can email ninjanationreport@gmail.com. I do not want to have that email to have anything to do with this channel, because it's important that I separate the two, if you know what I mean. This is
you can also text
YouTube
me.
is essentially the CNN of the social media world. The problem is Google, that owns YouTube, has 90% of the searches on the whole internet.
70% of the smartphones.
This is where the masses are, and I'm going to do my best to drag you guys over to Twitter and Rumble and any other place, somewhere where I can stand up and say what's really going on without being censored and have to constantly self-censor myself. It's so annoying to have to censor the truth. But if you're interested in your home protection 401k, like I said, email ninjanationreport@gmail.com, and I'll put you in touch with my good buddy Luke, and you can go from there. So
you can get a Thunderdome kit.
Yeah, ask him about the Thunderdome kits.
Yep.
And I'll put that in the email when I email you back. But it just seems logical to me. Mags were for the black Pow Pow were like $8 or $9, and they went to 80.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a 9 or 10x just on one item. 22 went to the moon. I know several different rounds were crazy expensive the last time it happened, and now they're down. So that's me trying to get you into things that could protect you and you could sell later.
Mm-hmm.
So just think about that. I'm going to participate in some of that as well.
Yep.
So, guys, have an awesome day. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you for being here. Later.